Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan and welcome to the disturbing and terrifying Comic Book Vault. Today on the Vault, we're going to take a look at Batman Legends of the Dark Knight number 50. This was written by Dennis O'Neil with art by Brett Blevins. And this story is called Images. And this is an adaptation of or rather kind of a retread of the original Batman Joker story from Batman number 1, which I reviewed back in the summer. In that story, it was Batman and Robin up against the Joker for the very first time, where he was giving clues to his crimes to when they were going to happen over the radio, and they would, the person that he wanted to kill, they were all public figures, and that person would die right at the moment Joker said they would, no matter what the police or Batman did. And it was absolutely terrifying for everybody involved, and is still a pretty haunting story and holds up pretty well. So here, basically what Dennis O'Neil does is he gets that story fit into regular Batman continuity. So a lot of the main players are here, most notably Robin is absent. This is played as kind of an earlier Batman story, whereas Robin was, again, already there with that original Batman story, and with the way Batman plays in more modern continuities, Batman's around for a while, of course, and then he takes Dick under his wing later. So what we get here is a Batman who's working alone. Alfred is now in the story, of course, as is Commissioner Gordon, and Dennis O'Neil actually plays up that classic bit that we see all the time with them in the comics and the movies and the TV shows everywhere, where Batman will be talking to him, and then Gordon will turn around and he's gone. And this seems to be very early in their career, so Gordon calls him on it. And the first time we see him, they do that classic thing with the kind of, man, I hate it when he does that. And then when Batman shows back up again later, Gordon asks him to please don't do that. And then at the end of that scene, Batman smiles at him before he leaves, and he says, "Do I have your permission?" We have here a Batman with a sense of humor, and he smiles in a couple places, and it doesn't seem entirely out of character because it seems so early in his career. He doesn't seem as hardened, and of course, he has to be somewhat hardened because of what happened to his parents, but he's still a bit of a wet behind the ears sort of Batman, and I kind of like O'Neil's take on it. I'm not sure how well that meshes with things like Year One and stuff like that, where he's still, pretty stoic, but it's working for this material, especially because when Batman finally defeats Joker at the end, he kind of refuses to take the Joker seriously. He plays his own game a little bit, and I really like that. So this really plays up this being the first time Batman and Joker meet. And I really like that O'Neil went to this particular story to tell the first time Batman and Joker actually meet story. It also figures in the Red Hood stuff. So it says that this version of the Joker really was the Red Hood who Batman dropped into a vat of acid classically. So once again, within this story that he's kind of retelling, he's bringing in all those other Batman motifs that were considered canonical at the time, and basically fitting this pre-crisis story from the 40s into regular post-crisis continuity. And I really like how he makes that happen. Art-wise, I like Brett Blevins' panel layouts, I think, a bit more than I actually like his art. There are certain characters that he draws, I think, better than others. Batman has some strange facial expressions here and there, and I don't love how he draws the mask. I don't know what it is. There's this odd way that he draws the top of it. It's hard to explain, but I think it's kind of odd. I actually like how he draws the Joker better than I like how he draws Batman, and the way he draws the public figures that the Joker kills, who, by the way, I didn't mention this, but in this version, he leaves them cassette tapes telling them that they're going to die instead of doing it over the radio, but it's still a similar kind of thing, of course. And he has these various clever ways to get his Joker toxin that causes them to die, and they're big, and they have big smiles in various ways. In the first guy that he kills is giving a speech, and it's on the piece of paper that he's reading. So like with the original story in the 40s, he has Gordon has the police there, and they're staking out and they're ready to stop anything that happens, but it's already happened. It's on that piece of paper, and the way Blevins draws the men who die is absolutely horrifying. It's grotesque, and I was very impressed with that. Like I said, I really like his panel layouts a lot. He'll have these kind of regular panel layouts where it'll be a couple of sets of panels and then maybe a big one at the bottom. This stuff we're kind of familiar with. He mixes it up a little bit, and then with these big action things, instead of doing any full page spreads, he just blows it up so that the panels are all really overlapping, and there is something on nearly every centimeter of the page, and it's this frantic action, and I'm really impressed with it. There's another very interesting thing that O'Neill does with Joker here, and I don't know if he made this up or if there was precedence for this, but he gives the Joker a cousin who kind of helps him out, and his cousin is completely dumb and oblivious in all ways except for with chemistry. So he is a genius at chemistry, but he's oblivious to the world, seems to have kind of a mental handicap, and he believes that he is ugly because his mother always said that he was, and he's drawn as a very handsome-looking guy, but he doesn't believe that he is because his mother always told him that he wasn't. He's got this very childlike mind, and that kind of is really interesting because of the Joker's grotesque face and how he fell in a vat of acid and he's disfigured, and so he seems to kind of get his kicks by telling his cousin that he's ugly like his mother always said that he was, and also and he uses that to kind of control his cousin. His cousin has this thing for clowns, which I thought was a bit strange and a little bit of a contrivance, that his cousin, this guy's name is Melvin, and the Joker, turned into a clown. I think that's kind of odd, but anyway, so he has this thing for clowns, which factors into this a little bit, and his subscription to this magazine about clowns is how Batman ends up finding them in the first place. And by the way, the book does a good job of giving Batman plenty of detective work, and I really like that Batman figured out early on when he first met the Joker, when he punches him in the face, that the Joker is not wearing makeup, because he goes back to the Batcave and he tests the glove and there's no kind of cosmetic residue on it. And so later on, when the Joker makes up somebody that he's killed to look like him, Batman knows for sure that it's not him because that guy has makeup that comes off. And I thought that all that was really smart. So anyway, overall, I think this is a really fun book, and I really like how he managed to integrate this old story into more regular Batman continuity. I also really like how Batman completely misjudges how smart and powerful the Joker is. I should say, by the way, that I sort of prefer the version of the Joker that knows how to do this chemistry stuff himself. I kind of like that high intellect Joker that plays up this goofy side, but you never know how intelligent he is. I sort of missed that here. And another thing I should mention is that this version of the Joker is called Jack Napier. He's not actually called that inside the book, but there's a hint about it where Melvin calls him Cousin J, and then Joker tells him, "No, I'm Joker, don't say that." And all you see is a J and an A. And so you think, okay, his name's probably Jack, but is it Napier? And then at the end, Melvin dies, and we see Melvin's name. I forget if it's on a tombstone or... yeah, it's on a tombstone. And his last name on the tombstone is written Reipan, R-E-I-P-A-N. Backwards, that's Napier. So this really is... So this Joker's name really is Jack Napier. But I love how I love how Batman completely underestimates the Joker by the end of this, because he says this will be the last time that that he'll have to face the Joker. He says to Alfred, we'll never have to worry about him again. I think that's really ironic. I also think it goes well with his character here, because he does have this sense of humor, and he does seem pretty sure of himself, maybe a little bit too much. And this is really cool for early Batman. We also have that Batman costume that's the old school bat without the circle around it. And of course, in the early to mid 90s, we usually saw the circle, and usually this costume would be there to kind of denote an earlier point in Batman's career. So I think that's why they're using it here. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching the Comic Vault. Hope you enjoyed it. Also, I should mention that in the back of this, there are quite a few really cool pinups by various artists. I forgot to mention that. That's totally worth checking out. And here are a few of them. So anyway, once again, thanks a lot for watching the Comic Book Vault, and if you'd ever like to send me anything to review on the Vault, you can send single issues or trades to Geekvolution, P.O. Box 14183, Lenexa, Kansas 66285. I'm Captain Logan, and happy reading.